Hey guys, it's Jules Draws. This is the time lapse for my part 2 in this Dragon Age character series, starring my Dragon Age 2 character, Hawke. As I did with my warden slash hero Ferelden piece, this really needs kind of an explanation just about the different elements in this art piece, because there's just a lot of different elements here that may not make any sense for someone who's never played any Dragon Age games. Starting off with the bottom left corner, there's a text. I have an excellent sense of dramatic timing and good hair. This is a quote said by Hawke, and I only really added this because so far I have a reoccurring element of just a quote that had been said slash relating towards the character in question. Now, looking towards the bottom right corner, there is two hands. These two hands represent the two family members that died during the events of Dragon Age 2, Hawke's mother and sister Bethany. Because my Hawke in my playthrough is a mage, Bethany died instead of Carver, her brother. The sibling's death changes depending on what class your Hawke is, which is really important, so that's why, yeah. In the middle of the right side, you can see a statue that's covering its face, chained up to the tower on the left side. This is one of many statues you see when arriving in Kirkwall, the City of Chains. From the name alone, you can probably assume why Kirkwall is called the City of Chains, but I included this because 1, I needed to fill up space in this piece, and 2, because Hawke in the majority of the game resides in Kirkwall and basically rises through the ranks of the City of Chains. On the top right corner, there's a symbol behind Hawke, darker in color with pretty obvious blood splatters on top. This is the newer symbol of Kirkwall, and in the past, Kirkwall used to be known as Emerius, a place that used to be a mighty imperial city with nearly 1 million slaves living and working in the city. There's a lot more details to why Emerius was changed to Kirkwall, but basically there was a slave uprising, a whole blight/war, and a lady named Andraste who encouraged the revolt. After everything, they renamed the city to Kirkwall. Despite the city no longer being the massive slave city it was before, it's still an extremely dangerous place, and a place Hawke calls home for the majority of Dragon Age 2, which is why I added the symbol. Now, if you look at the left top corner, there's another symbol. Lighter in color, but there's still splatters of blood. This is the Hawke family crest, but more specifically, a Mel's family crest. Despite Hawke being born in Ferelden and raised in a small little town by Hawke's mother Leandra and father Malcolm, Leandra was actually from the Amell family, an extremely wealthy and influential family in Kirkwall. Leandra fled to Ferelden with Malcolm because her parents had never approved her relationship with Malcolm. Sadly, he died 3 years before the 5th Blight, the Blight the Warden fights off in Dragon Age Origins. Because the town Hawke and their family resided in was the first town to fall to the Blight, they had to flee, but nowhere in Ferelden was safe, so Leandra decided to flee with her kids back to Kirkwall. In the game, Hawke finds out her uncle had ruined the name of the Amells by gambling away all the money in his estate. After Hawke rises through the ranks, she manages to get the Amell family house back, and I like to think after her mother died, she kept the Amell family name alive and honored it for her mother and sister. In the middle, you can see there's a whole bunch of plants/flowers above Hawke's head. These actually have their own meanings. I also want to say, for my hero Ferelden/Warden, it was a bit easier to decide what to have above her head, but for my Hawke, it was a bit harder. I realize now I could have just done the red dragon on the game cover, but I think this is just a little bit cooler. Starting off with the aloe vera that's holding the whole thing together, according to this website almanac that I used, aloe means affection but also grief. I felt this was fitting because, especially after Hawke's mom died, I noticed she was able to keep herself together pretty well. So, despite her grieving the death of her mom, she was still able to be with her chosen lover and deal with the BS of Kirkwall. On the sides, there's this flower called the Black-Eyed Susan, which represents justice. Now, this is for my Hawke specifically, but Because she is a mage and has been basically trying her best to hide the fact she is a mage, I feel like she would want justice for all of the other mages who had been taken and either thrown into a mage prison or got their powers, self-identity, and emotions taken away. Though it might not be the same justice someone else committed. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Anders. The two purple flowers in the middle are called clematis, which represent mental beauty, but could also mean poverty. Though for me, and just in this piece, clematis is going to represent mental beauty. I felt this was extremely fitting for Hawke because through the whole game, at least in my playthrough, Hawke had this mental beauty that can't really be explained fully. She was able to be kind, have wisdom, compassion, a healthy state of mind, authenticity, and just her attitude was able to influence everyone around her in a good way. And it was by accident. For example, all of Hawke's companions basically hate each other, but only tolerate each other for Hawke. Like, a really specific example could be easily Anders and Fenris. They hate each other's guts, but only really stay around each other for Hawke. I feel like another example of this mental beauty Hawke has is that Hawke went through so much. Just imagine you lose your father and then your little sister. Usually many people would break after that, but Hawke was able to keep it together, make money for her family and for their freedom, has a big ambition to make even more money for like her family, and then in that big ambition project that they had, she loses her brother. He didn't die, but he can never really return to Kirkwall because he became a part of the Wardens. Naturally, Hawke would feel like this was her fault, and even so, her mother would kind of also feel like it was her fault, even though it's really not. Then Hawke becomes champion of Kirkwall by saving the city, revived the Amel's name and honor, but then her mother dies because a sicko thought he could revive his wife in her mother's body. Wow, that's really gross. She did kill him though, but that's really bad. But then you guessed it, she was still able to keep everything together as the state of Kirkwall was just rapidly deteriorating because of the mages and Templars. I could explain even more because there's a lot more details than just that, but I think you kind of get the gist of it. The next flower I'm going to talk about is this pink flower on the right. This flower is called Gladiolus. At least I think I'm saying that right. Gladiolus represents the flower of the gladiators. God, that was... integrity, strength, and victory. I added this flower because Hawke's nickname for more than half of Dragon Age 2 and in Dragon Age Inquisition is Champion of Kirkwall. This title was only given to Hawke after she bravely fought the Arishok, a commander of a Qunari expedition in Kirkwall. After the Arishok had been provoked multiple times by this bitch, NPC, he retaliated and killed the Viscount of Kirkwall, threatened to kill more nobles, and sent his people he sent his people to just put the city in flames and more. Hawke then has multiple choices with how to deal with the Arishok, but I personally chose to duel him, and boy was it so hard as a mage. Regardless, after the duel, she receives the nickname because of her strength and victory. Now, for the last flower that's in this arrangement, this flower is called Hollyhocks. Hollyhocks represents ambition, and I felt like this was really fitting for Hawke. When Hawke, her mother, and brother arrive in Kirkwall, they realize no one was being let in because they aren't the only Ferelden refugees trying to get into the city. Even if Hawke's mother was a member of the Amel's family, the guards weren't going to let them in because, one, to them they're just Ferelden refugees, and two, the Amel's reputation fell because of Leandra's brother. The only way they could be let in is if someone in the city vouched for them and paid for them to be let in. As I had mentioned before, Hawke's uncle was basically broke and not extremely reliable, but he still loved his family, so he was able to make a deal with this mercenary group to let the family in. But unfortunately, in exchange, Hawke and her brother was basically quote-unquote sold to this group, and they had to work for their freedom back. Obviously, After they got their freedom, the whole family was dirt poor, so Hawke had an ambitious plan to make a lot of money for their family, which is why I used hollyhocks as the last flower. Phew, we have finally made it to the finish line of just the explanation for this piece. Now, for the composition, it was purely accident, just like with my warden piece, but kind of looking at it now, I can easily tell a story about it. So, starting off with the right side, her back is turned to the statue, the symbol of Kirkwall, and the two hands. For the symbol of Kirkwall and statue, I feel like she would easily leave Kirkwall when everything calms down, and I'm pretty sure she did leave Kirkwall at the end of Dragon Age 2 because people were looking for her, and Barrick kind of tipped her off and said, hey, you should probably book it. The hands, which represent her mother and sister, will always be tugging at her, but her face isn't sad. She is smiling, which easily represents that mental beauty Hawke has. Hawke is looking towards the left, which there you have the ML crest, so that will be her future, not Kirkwall. To be honest, a lot of this could easily be me bullshitting, but if you actually see a different story, let me know. I would love to hear it. So overall, I didn't have a lot of difficulty with this piece. It's really easy when you already have the sketch and the planning out for a piece, and all you really have to do is go and do the line art and the coloring, especially because coloring is like my favorite part of like the whole drawing process. But yeah, this is the part 2 to the four characters, and I'll give you guys a little, I'll give you guys a look and how it's looking all together with the Warden and Hawke, and then the sketches for Lavellen and Rook, because it looks really cool. And man, I kind of cooked on this, like, just this idea, even though I did get a lot of inspiration from this one creator on Instagram. I think it was Ilasan, I'm pretty sure, but Yeah, I mean, it's looking really cool. I realize now actually there might be like an anatomy issue with Hawke's head. Like it's a little too far back. But I think that's just like me being nitpicky because like everyone who I've shown this drawing to never really pointed it out or told me that there's a problem with it. So I'm hoping that's just me being nitpicky, I guess. So yeah, do you like this piece? Let me know.
I'm not calling you a liar, just don't lie to me. I'm not calling you.
Oh my god, I sat here thinking, I'm like, what the hell am I going to talk about? I have no idea what to talk about. I feel like I've talked a lot about this piece already. Oh my god, as of yesterday, they released Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora new DLC. I am so excited! Literally, words cannot describe just how fucking hyped I am. I'm so happy. I've been an Avatar fan since, God, when I was a little kid and I was watching the first Avatar movie back in like, I don't even remember, probably like 2012 or something. I don't know. I remember I was really, really young and I was watching it like crazy. My dad thought I was insane, but he like supported it. So it's like, I am so happy. I was already excited that the new movie was coming out on December 19th. Like, I already knew about that. I was gonna get like day of tickets when the movie released, because my mom's birthday is on December 19th and we both love Avatar. So I was like, okay, for her birthday, I'm gonna go get these tickets, and they're gonna be expensive, and I'm gonna have to like do it really early so we get some fire seats. But then when Avatar Frontiers of Pandora first released, I pre-ordered the game because I was so excited. And despite a lot of people like not liking the game, I love the game. I don't know why, with like me and just overall shitty games, I just get obsessed with it. So it was really sad to me after the release of the second like DLC that I already had, because it came with the pre-order of Avatar, like the Frontiers of Pandora, that Ubisoft like was completely crashing. Their like a lot of their, I think it was the sales or something, but they were in hot water. So it was really sad to see people saying, oh my god, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is not gonna get any new like content or DLC, we're cooked, GG, and like people were saying just overall how shitty the game did to Ubisoft's expectations. And even with the new movie, they're not gonna release anything new. And I was just thinking to myself, if they aren't releasing any new DLCs when the third movie comes out, they're literally missing out. I feel like that'd be the most perfect time to release a DLC, because it's the new movie. Why wouldn't you? So I was really happy to be right, one I was right, and two that I was right. And dude, the new DLC looks fucking amazing, and it has sparked my urge to do more Avatar art, because if anyone has known, I did an Avatar art a really, really long time ago. When did I post that? Hold on, I'm gonna check right now. But yeah, I used to do it. Like, I used to do art for it. Well, not really, but 2 years ago is when I posted my speed paint of my Avatar character, and I'm gonna redo her, to say the least. But I am so happy. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for it to be December. Literally, fuck November. Like, get me in December. I'm definitely gonna be buying the art book for the third movie. I never bought it for the second movie because I didn't really. It wasn't a concept that I knew that people, or like companies, I guess, would release art books of like a movie or game, and I didn't find that out until I found the Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and Dragon Age Inquisition art books. So I will definitely be getting the art book for the third movie. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. They just released a new trailer like an hour ago, and I watched it on TikTok, and I was so excited. It looks so good. Like, my inner child is geeking the fuck out. I cannot explain it more. Sorry. I needed something to talk about in that. Oh!
Hope everyone enjoys it here. Please follow the stream.
That scared the living fucking shit out of me. Turn this shit off. I'm done. Blurp, I'm done with you. You fucking scared the shit out of me. Shut up. Oh, it's not even Blurp. It's Pando. It's fucking Pando. Get out of here, Pando. Pando, I'm tired of you. Stop it. Go away. Shut down. Fuck. Fuck me, dude. That scared the fucking... Ugh. Oh my god. So, for context about that clip, it was about, I think, 7 a.m. It maybe even like 4 a.m. It was dark. And my stream buddy Panda will periodically say something, so when I'm streaming, it's not just complete silence. And just that time, it scared the shit out of me. It scared me so bad because all I was hearing was the woman singing and just check out the pet, and I jumped. But yeah, there's a context for that clip. Enjoy the time lapse. If you have made it this far, I applaud you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. A lot of these videos take a lot of time, and I do enjoy doing these, but I realize now that it's taking me a lot longer to actually finish these YouTube time lapses. But I mean, if people are gonna watch them, then hey, I will take as much time that is needed to make these. And yeah, I mean, I love doing art. I might have said this before, but this is something that I really want to do for my future, because one thing that I was taught growing up was don't try, well, not try, but if you can and if you have the opportunity to do a job that you love and you're not going to be just like slaving away and you hate your job, then do it. At least like that's what my dad taught me, so I have kept that to heart for a very long time, and I really want to make it work. Just streaming and doing art and just, you know, being that fellow person that you can come talk to. I think that is something I really value. But yeah, do you have any art suggestions? I mean, if you do, let me know. I would love to see what kind of art you guys want to see, and I'll eventually get to it. Man, I love Dragon Age. I love art. I love showing my art and my progress throughout all of these years. Like, if you literally look at my DeviantArt, oh, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like and subscribe. Any comments, I appreciate anything. And have a good one. Bye bye.